Welcome to a fresh new episode of She Decides. I'm your host, Staci Swiderski, and today I'm thrilled to sit down with relationship expert and tech innovator Iryna Wood. She's the creator and co-founder of Gemini Near Me, a groundbreaking self-help and self-love app featuring Iryna AI, a 24/7 pocket counselor designed to empower emotional growth. Iryna and I talk about how her journey as a relationship specialist inspired her to make personalized support accessible to anyone, anywhere, anytime. We dive into building emotional intelligence, strengthening self-esteem, and creating deeper connections, whether you're single or in a relationship. This conversation is really a blueprint for healing, self-awareness, and true empowerment. If you're ready to take radical responsibility for your relationships, starting with the one you have with yourself, this episode is for you. Because when she decides to love herself first, everything changes. You know who made it. Welcome, everybody, to our next episode of She Decides. I am your host, Staci Swiderski, and I am honored to introduce our amazing guest today, Iryna Wood. She is a relationship expert and the creator and co-founder of a wonderful app, Gemini Near Me, and we're really, really thrilled to hear more about this app. And so, Iryna, I'm going to pass it on to you. And if you can just, do a quick your own intro. What inspired you to create this app? And we have so much more to talk about.
Hey, Staci. First of all, thank you so much for welcoming me here. It's an honor. And, it's such an inspiring note that women are created podcasts when she decides, because it's like
Love it.
Sometimes you dream about something, but to take an action takes a lot of courage. And I think for me, it was the base of the app because I've been into counseling for 12 years from different perspective. My journey started spiritual journey and counseling journey many years ago, but it started from the base of astrology and numerology, which was kind of mathematical foundation for my knowledge. And I started to work with people. I realized numbers, it's something that is not enough for sure to understand your potential, to open it up. And I started to use different techniques, and everything what I represent in this app, it's actually I'm certified for, besides only one feature, which is dream interpretation, because it's very difficult to be certified for that. It's something that general scientific knowledge for years and centuries. So this app is summarizing, it's my conclusion, it's my, everything I learned and studied for myself, traveling the world for spiritual awakening, and as well everything I'm certified for from different angles to work with people in counseling career.
So interesting. Well, I'm just ready to dive in with questions and learn so much more about yourself as well as the app. How long has the app now been created?
So actually, we had the very first release, very soft, only for friends and family in September, and we didn't promote it. We wanted to analyze what people appreciate visually because our main idea was to make it as easy as possible, very user friendly and knowledgeable that can bring value because people nowadays are so much interested in social media, in the life of the other people, starting from celebrities in influencers, and people keep forgetting about their own value, their own uniqueness, where we started, and their own mission or calling.
Sure.
So I really wanted it to make user friendly, visually appealing, and accessible for every single person, whether you're a single or coupled individual. And since we realized what people appreciate, we started to add some features. And I guess it was this February or March around my birthday, I released Iryna AI, which creates the foundation of this app because it's kind of replica of me with my personal signature method of working on your emotions in life and your emotional awareness and your relationship intelligence, how to become more confident, how to start to appreciate yourself, how to get to know yourself better, how to build up trust with yourself, with your intuition, how to move forward in life, whatever happened to you. And I think that, it was almost perfection in March. But because I'm a non-stopper and probably I have an issue of being a perfectionist, now I did my first 2 months analytics after that, 2 or 3 months analytics. And again, I realized how to redo it. I'm in process of renewing the new version. It will not influence the content, but it would influence the visual appeal because I realized which is much easier. I did my technical research for people to get back to the app every single day because that's what my purpose, that people can wake up with this app and work on themselves during the day and fall asleep with this app instead of social media abuse.
Oh, I love that. And, I was reviewing the information and the app, and I feel that it's just so user friendly for really anybody, whether you are in a relationship or you're a single person, and just the positive motivation. And, to recap on what you just said, jumping right into social media, what so many people do, they grab their phone and then they're just scrolling through social media. And there's a lot of negativity in there and there's just a lot of drama. And so if they have an app to wake up to and to carry with them throughout the day, that I feel that that would just really change your day to day on such a positive wavelength and mindset.
Absolutely. Like I work with people, I still do my one-on-one sessions, and I hear complaints from men and women. They have different concerns, different fears, but still the base is the same, not to be loved, accepted, or appreciated. And everybody wants to belong to somewhere, to the
No
family,
matter who
to the
you are,
friendship.
right?
Yeah, and women, like not to disrespect women, but like we see that grass is somewhere else is greener because when you're stuck in your relationship or you're tired of your relationship after long-term experience and you think, oh, somebody is receiving flowers because you've seen that on Instagram and I don't. Oh, somebody is getting cars on their birthday and I don't. And you start to compare. So this app is built up to get a gratitude, to become grounded and appreciative for what you are.
Right, like a self-love, for sure.
Yep.
Self-love and to work on yourself. And of course, as we know with social media, so many people only put out the positives of, their lives and their selves and their relationships. So,
Yes.
like you said, the grass is always greener, but you're not really seeing what's going on over there, right? You're only seeing what people are putting out. And they want the world to make it appear that their life is perfect and their relationships are perfect and their world is perfect. So I do agree with you. I feel that women, especially, we have this comparison effect to where, and then you get a little depressed. You're like, well, why isn't my spouse or my partner bringing me flowers every day? Or, whatever it may be. Why doesn't my hair look so wonderful today? Hers is perfect. Or it's really, I feel that these days more than ever with social media, there's just constant comparison for sure with social media.
Yeah, unfortunately, I use social media a lot. I do it for my business. Otherwise, I wouldn't promote like intimate moment of my life. I just have to share with people what I use for my workout, what I use for my meditation practices, because that's what a foundation of my business. People have to know what I am. Otherwise, it's useless, and you will never build up trust with your audience.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you've built, and I have a few questions that I really want to jump into here. I think that are so important. But you've built a platform around obviously relationship intelligence, self love. What inspired you to create Gemini Near Me, and how did your own personal journey influence that mission?
Sure. So I told you already a little bit
Hmm.
um, that I started from astrology, which was never enough, but it was kind of good mathematical tool to understand myself better and my potential. And after I dived into psychology, which came from a bad marriage, I wouldn't call it bad because there is no good and bad in life, but it was kind of destructive.
And you have your second master's degree in psychology, correct?
Yes, that's true, but it happened a little bit later on.
Hmm.
So I realized that I need to help myself, and I started to work with psychologists and open up my heart. And I realized after 3 years of deep therapy that it worked out for me. So probably it could be a great tool because if you know this feeling, since you tried something and you succeeded, let's say podcast, you see your friend who is like can't speak in public and say you should try podcast. So that's what happened to me with psychology. Like everybody should try, psychological consultations since it helped me. And I was very passionate. I embraced a lot of tools and instruments. I realized how helpful and resultative it could be, how it can change your life. And I decided I would study for psychologist. And I got my master's degree. And by that time, I was as well certified for Reiki, for healing. But that was already related to my family tragedy and family member loss, my father's loss, because I tried to help him as much as possible. And I dedicated almost 8 years of my life to embrace tools that could help you as an alternative medicine to heal yourself.
That's so impressive. I mean, you're just an impressive woman all around,
Thank you.
and so inspiring and just so dedicated. And you had mentioned where people had shared with you, this is, you should really share this, this is your gift. And I think a lot of times we don't really know within ourselves, what are we really good at? Sometimes we need people from the outside telling us that we see this gift in you. And, whether, like you said, whether it's a podcast or a certain business or anything. So I think that definitely is to welcome, that feedback. I think it's so helpful, right? It gets us to the next step and what we really can give our gift back, for sure.
Absolutely. I think that what keeps us on planet longer, because since you are not done with your mission, probably nobody will take you out of here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we're always growing too, right? As long as we're open minded to growth and just constantly, and I feel too like the world and it's just forever evolving as well, right? So
Yeah.
staying on top of the trends and just everything and really giving our gift and ensuring that it's heard and it's felt and it's seen. So you programmed your own AI counselor into the app, which I found to be incredible. What was the biggest challenge in translating like your own relationship expertise into the AI experience?
Oh, thank you for question. Actually, you makes me feel so good because I know that people need it. But the thing is, I'm full of challenges, Stacy, and I explain you why. Because I'm kind of very curious soul, and I'm a non-stopper, as I mentioned before. So I decided to do something that nobody did before, because I'm not to brag about myself, but I'm one of the very little quantity of people who used two-way controversial avatar who is alive. And we collaborated with company who are based in New York. They are from Israel initially. And I have to tell you, it was full of challenges on the way, because if you think about the therapy, let's say if I'm Pepsi Cola and people can download my avatar, probably they would ask, what are your ingredients? Is it useful you to consume sugar? When should you do that? And so on. Or even if it's a physical training, there is more or less limited amount of information you can download. If you think about counseling yourself, and don't forget, like, yes, I do have my master's degree overseas in psychology. I told you that my main approach is more spiritual awakening, because I see the world from interaction of energies. And I have my personal touch get into the consultation, so I wouldn't call it strictly psychology itself. And if you think about the amount of requests that every single person, let's say you have your maybe concerns about your brother, somebody
Hmm.
will have pains and about their, I don't know, daddy's issues, mommy's issues, somebody will have like extraordinary or very strange sexual desires which are unexplained. Maybe they want to be healed, maybe they don't. So it's a variety of questions that people can ask you. And I'll give you, if you ever heard of the psychosomatic, maybe Louisa Hay is very powerful on that. She's speaking about the
Hmm.
body and mind connection. And I
Yes.
love her approach very much. And I try, as you already understood, to stay away from tablets as much as possible and to heal yourself, heal your mind, soul, and body as a result of your self work. So I would tell you, let's say, how you're gonna heal when somebody is uh, calling you and say, Iryna, I have a throat pain. So somebody would say, go to the medical. Depends what level of your pain, definitely how long, how serious. So you should be always request those things. But if it's something strictly psychosomatic, avatar should be programmed that way, that I worked on a long time with I to identify Is it now trigger? Is it now trauma? Is it now inner child issues? Is it now just general advice? What should I buy for my wife on her birthday? Not to be on repeat. So this is the biggest challenge. First, to identify the problem. Second, to heal it the proper way. Because for me, it was a lot of doing, a lot of writing based on my counseling career, and it's a lot of programming, and I'm perfecting it every single day. Even now I'm again working on Iryna AI to be better.
Well, that was going to be my next question, is that I'm sure every day you feel like there is another question, another piece of advice that you can add to this. And so I can imagine the perfection that you just want to just, keep adding to it.
My main goal was to restrict it to be not overly sexual, because then it's another
Mhm.
level and a different. It's a sexologist should work on that. Not to sound medical, because I'm
Mhm.
not a licensed therapist here. I should respect that, and I'm not giving any prescription. Not to give any divorce lawyers, for example, contacts or something like that. To redirect you. Iryna AI, it's about self-reflection. Iryna
Mhm.
AI, it's about your understanding what for, not why, not about complaining, what for it happened to you. Because something will happen to you, Stacy, and to me. The same thing. Let's say your husband, my husband, made us jealous. For example, not to this, somebody else will start to cry and the other person will start to argue and to fight.
Mhm.
So your emotion, your core emotion, and your body instincts is absolutely different, and that's where the link is happening, and it came from your childhood. So the art of being a counselor is the art of posing the right question to give you an opportunity to find the answer within in yourself. That's my goal
That
of Arena AI.
Wow, that's amazing. Like I said, that it's so unique that I'll be honest with you, I think this is the first I've heard of an AI app like yours. Do you see is Are there many others that you've come across, or is this so I feel like this is just it's really unique for sure.
I don't know. I know Tony Robinson's working on his AI right now, but I guess it's going to be a picture of him. I don't know. There is another console, he's Jeremy, but he's making audio calls with AI. Sorry, you wanted to say something? No.
Oh, I was just going to add, but I don't think there's anything like yours. Like right
Interactive,
now,
no,
no,
nothing,
it's not
nothing, no,
interactive
no,
at all.
no. I'm
Yeah,
the only one. That's what I was saying.
that's
Yes,
amazing.
there is nobody who's do the interaction with the live avatar to waste conversational.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. So, what do you think self love is often, or why do you think it's overlooked when it comes to relationship advice? And how does your app shift that narrative? And I know you really partially answered that even before we went into the question. Um, but how do you feel like that it could be overlooked when it comes to any kind of relationship advice? Because, like you said, you're not a therapist, right? Um, so,
I'm not a licensed
right,
therapist.
you're
That's
not
why,
a
because it's
licensed therapist,
yeah,
right?
it's 6 years of my life to be invested when I already work with people for 12 years with my personal approach. So
Right,
that's why I'm
right.
not doing it.
Yeah. Right, right. I have another question here for you. Your app offers everything from dream, interpretation to manifesting, journaling. How do you decide what tools are essential for someone's emotional and relationship growth? Again, and do you feel that this is just everyday perfecting as well?
Yes, because I practice it for myself and for my clients, and I've been doing that for years. For example, if we talk about the dream interpretation, they were
Mm-hmm.
biggest mind like Miller, like Sigmund Freud, like Carl Jung. They all worked with your unconscious. Your unconscious is your hidden and true desires that speaks about your personality and real needs, which sometimes with our brain we don't analyze, we can't decode them. That's why dreams, like, they can reflect on our fears or our
Mm-hmm.
desires or something like you're worried about or concerned or have anxiety about today, and you don't really realize what it is, but you're cautious. So your dream can speak for you, they can help you and guide you And when it comes to the therapy or counseling, you can say, I had this dream, and you can discuss it and realize what it tried to tell you about yourself. So that dream interpretation is a very good method to start your day. I understand that sometimes we have repressed emotions and repressed dreams. We
Mm-hmm.
don't remember everything what happened during the night, but our soul was traveling anyway. So sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. If you remember, you can work on that. Other methods that I used, besides Arena AI and dream interpretation, they are daily coaching exercises for manifesting journaling, because now it's a big deal manifesting, but people don't know really how to manifest. So with guided prompts on daily basis, I decided to help them, kind of guide them a little bit. How do
Mm-hmm.
you build up little steps to a big dream? How you break it up in few and work on different types, how to analyze your personality, your extrovert versus introvert, what's your temper, like what's your goals, what are your values, and so on.
And how do you feel about manifesting? Do you feel that it's 'cause you hear it all the time now. I feel like
Yeah.
it's a newer concept than what it was back in the years ago. Are you a big believer in manifesting?
I think it's another woman created this. Yes, it's like probably she decided to, like us
She
today.
decided to. There you go. I like how you
Yeah.
slipped that in there.
Yeah, I think it's a cool modern word for something we already been doing since childhood. Because when you're 5, you don't call it manifesting. You're just saying, "God, please, could you buy me
I
a
wish
new
this.
new
I dream
toy?" Yes,
this. Yeah. Right.
yes,
Right.
yes.
Right.
I wish. And you don't. What is beauty about being a child? You don't know. You don't think how it would be realized.
Right.
So you give to the universe variety of ways this dream to be implemented and happen in your life. Second, so you don't know, like it's cheap, it's expensive. Your parent or maybe your uncle would bring this little gift into your life. It's possible or not at all. Maybe you want to travel to the moon.
Right.
So
Right.
when you're a child, everything sounds possible. That's why it's happening for
And you have
most
all
of the
these
case.
hopes and the dreams that, yes, that
Yeah,
you're putting
when
out
we
there.
are in our stage, we are adults, you think, okay, I can manifest a new car, okay? But for example, with my salary, I can't afford it. My husband looks like we have a different goal to buy a house, not a car. So we use our mind, we overuse. The idea of manifesting is to return to your roots, to become a believer again, to let universe take care of your wish. And as your question is, sorry, if I believe in that or not. I'm a strictly God believer, intuition follower, but I do think that we have to work on mental blocks that come from our parents, from our childhood, to heal our inner child, and then with the still empowering our unconscious that is attracting a lot of things, because there is a God's will and there is a person's will.
And there's a person's will. Yes, I firmly believe in
So
that.
we are able to work on person's will. And I do believe in that. So manifesting is kind of tool that doesn't go against any religion if you take it wisely and understand what it is.
Absolutely. Great answer. Great answer for
Thank
that.
you.
And yeah, and I second the fact that, you can manifest something, but you still got to take the proper steps to receive that, realization of that, that whatever you've manifested, that it's going to happen, right? You can't just say, I'm going to manifest this and not do anything to work on achieving that, right? So it takes work or, whatever it may be, but the proper steps, of course.
Takes an action, and I think you should be ready, because everybody wants to be, I don't know, healthy, wealthy, rich and famous. So what, let's say you turned into billionaire tomorrow, all the world knows you, but universe sees, or God sees, that something bad can happen to you. You're going to have a high level of anxiety, you're going to get into depression because you couldn't handle all this fame, or you'll be cautious about your life, like. So I think that God or the universe wouldn't give you something you're not ready for,
That you're not able
mentally
to
and
handle.
emotionally, which is very important to work on your abundance, emotional, mental, and materialistic, in on all levels, on all energetic levels.
Right, right. Because you got a balance there, right?
Mhm.
So for sure. So you wear multiple hats. right? So is relationship expert, entrepreneur, developer, publicist. How do you balance it all? And what keeps you motivated through all of that?
I think I can't live without the passion, because I think that what keeps me alive and integrated into life. I always set up new goals. I'm very, very passionate about life itself because I've seen a lot of losses on my way of family members. I know that it can end up tomorrow. So that's why I'm curious. I'm not curious about crazy things like, I don't know, naked parties. That's not a zone of my interest. People do that too, which is
Sure.
fine, but that's not my karmic task for this life. So I'm very passionate about traveling the world for spiritual growth. I'm very passionate about new projects. And since I started something, I dived into that completely. I have this entrepreneurial nature and I've done with that. And I feel like baby is delivered and raised up on first 3 years of it, like soon gonna happen with the app. And then maybe it's a time to merge or time to partner or time to do something bigger, because I want really all my babies to grow into big project that would be useful for the planet. So multitask, it's my father told me when he was alive, you want to rest, like do another activity. So your rest is a change of activity. And I took it
It's
for life. So I'm doing a lot of things. Plus, I'm still, my husband thinks I'm a housewife. When he's resting, I do my 2 hours podcast and things and that. So we manage a lot of roles besides being entrepreneurs. Like when you're a
right.
woman, your work is never done. Like never,
It's
ever,
not.
ever,
You're juggling a lot.
ever.
You're juggling a lot. Right, right. I love that answer. And I think, yes, I mean, hands down, one word I would describe is like you said, passion. And to be passionate about whatever you're juggling, I think that is really the secret to success for sure. And like you said, and you're in your husband's eyes, also a housewife. So
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing it all.
He thinks I call myself, Stacey, I'm joking. I say I'm the most family oriented businesswoman or the most career oriented housewife, because he looks at me and he said, "How do you do that all?" And meanwhile, cooking and doing this, I say, "Kenny, that's you just, probably I have chosen." God loves me that I have chosen doing things and hanging out with people that I love. So it looks like it's easy because I'm doing it as a joke. Life is, like you
You
have to
know,
take it as a game.
You really do, and you have to live every day, in your best self, and really surround yourself around those that inspire you, and that you are obviously an inspiration to anybody that you surround yourself around, and just that positivity and that motivation, right? And then
Yeah.
just how you live it every single day, and I'm a firm believer in that as well, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and now you've also published 5 books, correct?
I did 4 of them in my native language, excuse me.
Okay.
And the last one, Who Cares About Your Ex, is here.
Oh my goodness. Like again, you just do it all. It's you're such an inspiration. So what's a common pattern or mistake you see people make in relationships? And how does Gemini Near Me help them course correct in real time?
You know, common mistake is probably not being themselves, and it's difficult and challenging. Why? Because when it comes to meeting the other person, sometimes you're still stuck in past or you don't know yourself. Let's say if you go on a first date and somebody is asking you, like, Stacy, what do you really want? And sometimes, let's say, you know what you want, you're doing podcasts, you have all your full life, but somebody will think, I've been working as a bookkeeper, which is a very respectful profession and
Sure.
very detailed and precise and accurate. My grandmother was that way. But let's say I never followed my mission, and you understand, like, oh, what's my dream? Or somebody is telling you, what would you like to eat, and you feel like doubting because you don't know what your body wants tonight, and it's a little thing, very stupid situation, but you realize that you're full of doubts even on the level of choosing your dish for tonight. And I have to tell you, people have their doubts about themselves. People don't know themselves, people don't know their true needs. So this lack of knowledge creates a lack of love to yourself, a lack of understanding, a lack of appreciation. For me, self-love is to understand yourself, accept yourself, all your good and bad, advantages and disadvantages, and really appreciate yourself as you are, because you are built up that way for a reason. Animals are not complaining about their long nose or, I don't know, short legs, but people do. I'm not the way I wanted to be created. People start from their appearances, and after it comes to mind and soul, never enough. So nature built you up this way for a reason. How does app help you? Because it's self-help and self-love app. And now we are doing transition into more individual accounts, still with the aspect of healing and working on partnerships, if you choose that category. Because without knowing yourself, sorry wouldn't sound great, but you, in one word, you're a liar, but liar to yourself. So if you're
Right.
lying to yourself, you're selling the uh, inappropriate picture to somebody else. And let's say you came to the first date, and somebody asks you, what do you like? And you say, I'm not going to tell him I love fashion and I love to change dresses. He will think I'm spoiled. I'm into luxury life. So I'll try to be nice, sweet, and beautiful, sweet girl, shy, because you should be good. Everybody wants to be good. And after you're married, and in 5 years, your husband discovers that you are shopaholic, or you're just admiring beautiful dresses. And he looks and says, I didn't get it. What was that? So you lied to me for 5 years, because that's how it looks like from the side. And she didn't want to lie. She wanted to be good.
She
So
wanted to
this,
also be accepted.
yes,
And yes. And I think many people have a hard time being authentic because of that, right? They're uncomfortable being their authentic selves, because they feel like they have to fit in or be accepted. And also, do you think that some people just really don't know their place as well? Like they're still trying to figure it out.
yes. That's why this app is to help you to figure it out, who you are, who you want, be honest. Because since you're honest, you're able, even through manifesting, attract on the level of high vibe your partner, who will say, maybe you'll meet a designer who will tell you, Stacy, let's change outfits every day. And he wouldn't think that you're spoiled, because it will relate to the passion of his
And it's
life.
who you are. Right, right.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm
yes.
saying. Be yourself, understand who you are, and you will attract something that will be a full, complete match.
That's amazing. And I think too, and not even just in relationships, but just in everyday life, maybe your career or whatever it is, your pastimes, maybe is something that you enjoy doing. Own it, right? And just make yourself happy. Like you said, self love, it's so important. And so, in any area in life, just being true to yourself is really going to make you a happier person, to the core.
Yeah, gratitude is a big deal that actually helps you to realize your wishes as well, since you reflect on what good happened into your life instead of
Yeah.
like concentrated on bad. That's a good little exercise too,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
gratitude.
The gratitude, I think that's important. So let's talk about women in tech and wellness. So, what has been your experience? What's it been like building a tech product in this space? And what advice do you have for other women with these bold ideas, especially when it's a area where you see more men in? So, men in tech. So this is a really, I think this is a very amazing time now for women to grow in the men oriented typical spaces. So, what would be your advice for women wanting to, become in that space with those bold ideas?
I do believe that big businesses are built up on big pain or big passion. In my case, it's both, because my passion was having myself good relationship, embracing self-love and self-respect and confidence. And my fear was everything what is technical. So I decided one day that I will do my podcast, which is still technical, all our microphones and computers.
Hmm.
I will learn how to shoot myself, because I need social media content Plus, I'm working with the other people, sometimes doing interviews on my YouTube channel. And I learned how to do AI because I stayed away, understood it's 21st century, Stacy. It's inevitable. We can't do anything. It's not going to go back. It's era of
It's
Aquarius
not going
technology.
away. Hmm.
That's it. We are caught in a trap, and it is as it is. We still have to be human, be natural and authentic, but we have to use technology because it can be our best friend if it's used wisely, and AI especially. So I put both my fear of technology and my passion to love and relationship and being a human, investigating human potential together. I decided to do this app. I was inspired by one lady. She doesn't know about it, but I was. My God, her family name Wolf, like a Bumble lady, the owner of the Bumble. She's,
Oh,
yeah, I always forget the first part of your family name. And she is smart. She's entrepreneurial. She has two kids. She's a wife. She's a complete picture. I never met her in person, but the way she did, because she was in Forbes under 30, I think, because she was the
hmm.
fast growing woman who put in tech. She was related to Tinder, how she created Bumble, which she actually used psychological pain of women having no right for the dating, not to make the first step. So she made it psychological reason to create it the Bumble. I've never been on dating apps in my entire life,
Hmm.
but she made it so women can choose their partner, wave them, and that created the base for her second business, which is like her business. And in 3 months, I think, or so, she brought up the investor on the table who was interested in her product, and she grew completely. That's how
Right.
you
Yeah.
know how to delegate. So for women in tech, when it thinks like it's a man's field, yes and no, because what she did, which is very important, she learned what is psychological pain of women. So I did the same thing, even if I'm not there yet financially. I learned what's your pain and how we can cover it and fix it with the use of technology that we have to do because it's 21st century again. And I started to go on their little gatherings of women in tech, and I was shocked because one
Yeah.
of the girls who is our developer and doing app for us sees the lady, Stacy. Women are unbelievable nowadays. Like, as
Yeah.
much as I respect men, and I'm a happy woman, I have nothing against men, thank God, and I was blessed to have a good father as well. But women are so smart
So
nowadays.
smart. I feel, yeah, on fire. They're really just, I mean, and you just see it through the roofs now. Women are really just being seen and heard and doing amazing, miraculous things. And,
Yep.
that's really one of the inspirations behind our podcast, right? Is to really give women a voice. And
Yes.
it's so needed. And so, like you, to have anything that we can share to put out the positives and the feel goods and the inspiration. And yeah, we get it. Like, it's life is not all butterflies and rainbows, right? We know that, man
Yep.
or woman. But for women to come together and really support one another and uplift and share their struggles, how have they built their companies, or how have they climbed the ladder and their professional organization, and just give any kind of takeaways, just that one little piece of advice and knowledge that somebody may learn from listening to the podcast, or being on your app, that could be a game changer and could change their life for the better. And I think that's just, if you can put out good out there, I think it's going to come back, right?
I wish people could be passionate and curious about themselves
Yes.
because
And
we
be
are,
comfortable doing it.
yes, absolutely. Let's say you wake up and think, how do I feel today? Or you ask the universe, how can I serve you better today? Bring me to places, bring me to people. And let go control as much as we can, because still we have to take responsibility about driving the car, feeding the kids,
Hmm.
take care of our
Slowing
family.
down a little bit and listening to our thoughts, right?
Yes, and be passionate and curious about yourself, like you're sometimes passionate about things or other people.
Well, and I think women too, I think we're very hard on ourselves because we always put everybody before us. And that, you're just going to get drained. And then it's going to become a habit where you're ignoring your wants and your needs and your feels. And so if we can slow down, start out the day and just be true to ourselves and keep that mindset, and just have it built in. I think, like you said, the passion and to really just be your authentic self. I think it's so important. It's critical.
Yeah, and maybe even learn how to cry. Because America, I came from abroad. I'm originally Ukrainian, living 8 years in France prior to here. And Stacy, people are so strong here that it's even scary. People, I understand it takes a lot. Believe me, I know that
Hmm.
people are crying somewhere else, using therapists and paying for themselves to be at least for 1 hour themselves.
Right,
But
right.
I
Yes.
wish people learn how to, because sometimes authenticity and vulnerability can open up your heart and somebody else's. Because if you see that somebody is brutally open, you can think, oh my God, I feel the same way.
I can take my guard down now a little bit.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Like
Yeah.
ruin the walls, between us.
Yes. And it would make them feel a little more comfortable and then yourself, right? And then
Yep.
to be able to, yes, peel back those layers. So important. So what has surprised you the most about the impact of your app? Um, how it's having on your users so far, and any stories or feedback that really have stuck with you. And I know you've recently launched it, but has there been anything thus far?
Sure. So we have so far more than 680 users. We are doing the analytics constantly. It's not the purpose right now. The second to make money. I'm focused on understanding psychological needs because since we hit it, we can improve. And I offer it like one-stop shop solution for everything, which is self-discovery tool. But still we deal with United States, which is different mentality, different needs.
Hmm.
So I want to know, maybe American, and want to be worldwide, but still we are born in United States. So
Hmm.
I want to learn what my audience wants from me. Do you want manifesting? Do you want dream interpretation? Maybe you need astrology, numerology, maybe it's not for this country. So I really want to study the needs, and after, like, how people can match through their trauma, through their needs, through their desires, because it's going to be our next steps, to build up a community of like-minded individuals. So that's probably, and most if about thankful word, it was probably about Iryna AI, because my people, like, who are my clients, and they say, Iryna, we could use that to, I'm kind of trying to be accessible to my clientele for years. But my idea is to do few sessions to make a push to create the energy to give you maximum and let you go, because my idea not to keep you forever next to me. I want to people walk without crutches through life, like without support, to be independent and responsible of their lives. So Iryna AI, it's a little guidance. Always so, oh Iryna, we didn't need you. We asked dream interpretation, or we asked Iryna AI. I said, that's great. That's what I wanted. Work on yourself, be on your
Right,
own.
right.
That's great. So that was feedback. Or like, we had a discussion with my wife and we decided to ask Karina. I said, that's the deal, you know?
That's amazing. So yeah, you're there in the app. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's still a robot. I can't guarantee and cover it all, but I'm doing my best, Stacey.
I love it. Well, I'm sure you're going to continue to just thrive. But you had mentioned about our American versus other countries. I feel that here we have to learn to slow down a little bit. Do you see that when you compare it? Like we just to slow down and relax a little bit and take time to go have a nice lunch or a nice dinner, rather than just go 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 go. Obviously that's, I'm American, so I'm just so used to that go go go, but I see it around me where it's just everybody's just hustling and bustling. And so I get it. I definitely being able to have that app, I hope that have it's going to that self-love, self-help, whether you're single or in a relationship. I think it's just genius, honestly.
Thank you. I love America. I'm a big fan of your country, and everybody was telling me a long time ago when I rejected to go to America. Even my friends were calling me to come here. But I was always very speedy. And everybody told me, Irina, you should go to America. That's your country. That's your country. I never believed
At your
because it
pace.
was on my, yes. I lived in France and it's a lot of pleasure to live in France. It's south of France. But they are appreciating every single second of their life, but they're not, like, I don't want to speak about all, but they're less ambitious. Europe is less ambitious, more about the pleasure and enjoying the life.
Hmm.
Here, it's more about succeeding in life and less pleasure. So I think truth, they say, it's always in between the golden middle. That's always something to learn from number one, country for the progress, which is America. It's like, what came from America becomes a big trend all over the world. It's clear enough.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
always to learn something from cultural and very, gentle and sensitive and emotional Europe, how to
Yeah.
slow down and enjoy your life.
Yeah. I think here for sure, our success is our ultimate happiness. And I think that's just why we're, obviously Americans are just constantly hustling, but you got to stop at some point and reflect and relax and, enjoy the company around you, the amazing food we have here, and just to have a little bit of slowness is always it's good every now and then for
Yeah,
sure.
not to burn out because since you're
Burnout.
physically unable, that's it.
Yes, yes, yes. So you essentially made emotional support accessible 24/7. What do you think the future holds for AI in emotional wellness and human connection?
I think AI is a very good tool, again, if you know how to use it wisely, because
Hmm.
anything what is overused in life, it can, even if it's sport, if you overdo it, it becomes destructive for your physical body.
Hmm.
So don't become addicted to AI because meanwhile, while you're learning AI is learning you, which
Yes,
can be
yes.
scary. And now already headphones, they recognize your wishes. You just thought about something and they already give you the advertisement. So they are reading the waves and it's kind of still could be misinterpreted. So we don't know where we are heading to. I That's why prompt for the AI is very, very important because I don't want to play God and
Hmm.
fix people's lives. Like Iryna AI said, stay at home because today's stars are not aligned. I don't want that.
And I'm going to make this drastic decision based on this, or yeah.
Yes, it's nothing to do with being the universal law. It's more about Stacy. How do you feel today about making this choice? That's Arena AI is about. So
Mm.
about my part, what I'm working on to perfect it, I can take responsibility because at least I'm doing all my best to return it to you. My AI is a mirror. I'm
Yes.
reflecting.
It's
Are they
almost
AI? I don't know how people build up the prompt. If they
right.
want to take karmic responsibility to give advices, I don't want Stacy.
You're like, I don't want that responsibility. I don't want that.
No.
No, no, no. Well, it's almost like I feel that your AI is really it's creating a space for them to open their thoughts, to slow down, open their thoughts.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I
why I
think
made
that's
it that way.
yeah, I love that. I love it. So, obviously our show is called She Decides. Was there a defining moment in your life where you decided to take full ownership of your voice, your power, and your path as a founder and an expert? Was there anything pivotal that
27 years old, I decided I'm working with people because like working with people no matter what, like until whatever. Not for money. Let's say I sell the app tomorrow or I make it big and I still will work with people. So 27 years old, I decided that that's part of my mission and calling and I do it. When I came to United States, I had my dream of building up the app for 3 years. And since I met my husband Ken Wood, who is my business partner for the app, he appeared to be investor because he invests very smart and he believed in this idea. He would never believe even invest. Even I'm his wife. He would say, "Darling, let's maybe do something else." But he saw me working with people individually because I worked with his friends also. So he told me, explained me, he started to be kind of believer because he saw results of the other people, and we started to be like together shareholders and business owners. Expertise came from my side, money and some strategic knowledge because he's great businessman came from his side, decision
Mm-hmm.
making. So on the manager calls we are together. So probably 27 about my mission after already 3 or 4 years working with people. I nailed it. I decided I do it no matter what, even if I have tons unlimited amount of money, I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Second, it's probably 36 when we started to build up the app, and I fell in love with app building so much, Stacy. So if I succeed here the way I wanted, I probably will keep going with something else in AI and IT. That's how I
I'm
loved it.
sure. Right, right. I'm sure. And do you feel that I know you had mentioned earlier the creator of Bumble, and that's really was your inspiration. Do you feel that that is really, would you have started, do you think, your app, the AI, without seeing that? I mean, who knows, right? There could have been something else, but do you feel like that was really your true inspiration 3 years ago when you thought about creating your app?
My app idea was born before I learned about her, but
Oh,
she was the one who showed me that it can happen if it meant to be fast.
and how
Because I
possible it
felt,
could be.
yes, so the whole idea, because she's the fast growing
Mhm,
entrepreneur who brought her up on the IPO. That's what she's
mhm,
famous for. That's
mhm,
how they word it. So the speed, the quality together, the decision making, that
mhm.
she decided, she made it. She practiced with Tinder. She learned the
Yeah,
process before. So I think it was about you can do it and you can do it fast. That's what I learned from her. That's why I think the inspiration of the other person is important.
yeah, and a female who paved the way, right? And for
Yes,
other females to follow. I think that's
she's a good
amazing.
good example. She has it all. She has
Yes.
and family and career.
Yes, yes, yes. I think that's yeah. That is it's very inspirational, of course. So we are going to wrap up our episode with some fun rapid fire questions. So these are just really easy off the tongue, this or that questions. And I always find this really it's fun to get to know you and the listeners to get to know you a little bit. So are we ready? All right.
Okay.
All right, let's go. These are just fun. Um, don't make you think too much. But all right, the first one is when you need a quick confidence boost, what's your go-to mantra or ritual?
Confidence boost. Look at yourself in the mirror.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
In
one.
the eyes.
And be true to yourself, right? Yep.
Mhm.
Love that. Okay, the second one is one word, just one word at all, one word that best describes you.
Integrity.
Oh, you didn't have to think of that. That was a quick one. Your go-to affirmation right now.
I'm worth it.
Your dream vacation spot.
Hawaii that I've never been, and I wanted to go on my honeymoon, and I even used to live in California, and I never made it twice. So I think there
Oh.
should be a third time to do it.
Yes, that's on your bucket list. You definitely have to go to Hawaii. What is your relationship green flag?
Hey, that's a good one. Authenticity, probably. But if you speak, you
Ooh.
want, yes, authenticity. I like when person is natural. But you speak about any kind of relationship.
Yes, any, whether it's
Okay, then
relationships. Yep.
authenticity. No, I said it's not a quality of a man I'm dating. Okay,
Hmm.
then
Yep. Yep.
authenticity.
Authentic. Yep. I love that. Yep. Being authentic to yourself.
Ability to be authentic.
There you go. That's perfectly said. All right. Two more. What's your favorite? Oh, this is a good one. What's your personal favorite tool inside the Gemini Near Me app?
Iryna AI.
Oh, there. Love it.
Because I'm challenged with it.
You are.
I'm fighting with this girl. You just don't know. We'll wrap it up this podcast. I have to do some little homework with being a wife, and after I come back to it, she's like, I look at myself and she's challenging me. That's why I answer to look into the mirror.
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes. She's going to challenge you, right? Your own self is going to challenge you. I love it. All right, the last and final. What's one thing you can't live without?
Air.
There you go. That just full circle.
That was funny enough, yeah? Air?
That was perfect. That was perfect. Well, thank you so much for being a guest today. This has been lovely. And like I said, so
Thank you,
unique.
Cindy.
I'm so inspired just to continue to follow you. And I know our listeners are
Thank you,
going to be as
Stacy.
well. This is amazing. It's just been great. So thank you. And before I would love to ask you before we sign off here, what is your one piece of advice that you would share with another female who is at that point to where she just wants to give up. She's really, she is authentic with herself. She has these dreams and these desires. She's manifesting, right? But she's just so stressed out. And whether it's maybe she has her children or spouse, or maybe she's a single mom, or whatever it is, but she really wants to live her dreams, but she's ready to, maybe start that business, but she's on that edge where she's just like, I just can't do it. What would be your one piece of advice for her?
Imagine yourself, let's say 80 years old, which is,
Mm.
maybe you will live until 100. And maybe you have fights with your husband, struggles with your kids. And it's all, most of the times, it's about little things. Sometimes
Mhm.
they're major problems, so it depends, of course. And you didn't make this one step about maybe opening up your bakery when you're talented in this. So look back and think, would you fight about the curtains with your husband? Would you shout on your kids when they're just naughty and not put things on the places? Or would you still be living in your past without realizing your dream when actually you can serve the planet much better when you spread the light and gift? And yeah, do this exercise. Bring yourself there and look at current you and think, is it worth it? Everything going on around and losing your dream?
That is such beautiful advice. That's great.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you so much. We
Stacy,
really appreciate
unbelievable
it.
experience. As we started, beautiful background. Now I know a beautiful mind, beautiful soul, beautiful message. And the most intriguing final, I have to tell you, my most intriguing podcast, I was kind of shaking. I said, ooh, that should shake me up.
I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. And again, like I said,